Hi guys, it's Tim from Launchpresso Digital, and in today's video, I'm going to be looking a little closer at conversions in Google Ads versus all conversions in Google Ads. And the reason I'm covering this topic today is because they're not one and the same. They're completely different, and it's important to know which actual conversions are being counted as account goals within your Google Ads account. Now, there's a lot to cover in this video in terms of conversions versus all conversions. So if you're having issues with your conversion tracking or your Google Ads account in general, reach out to me in the link just down below. Fill out the contact form on our website and I'll get in touch with you as soon as possible and see how I can help with fixing your tracking issues. And with that said, let me take you over to my screen now. Okay, and here we are in one of my clients' accounts. This is going to be the best example to be able to show you how conversions versus all conversions work. As I mentioned before, the most important difference between conversion and all conversions is how they're being counted as conversion goals within an account. Fastest way to find out how your conversions are being counted is coming into goals, conversions, click the drop down, come to summary, and then come across where it says view all conversion actions. Click that. And you can see under this column here, it says included in account level goals. As you scroll down throughout your conversion actions, you can see which have been stated as yes to be counted or no not to be counted at the account level. And for this particular client, they are a Shopify store. They definitely want to include purchases as their account level goal. And as we can see under the add to cart category, the actual add to cart conversion action itself is not counted as an account level goal. And reason being is that because we don't want our automated bidding strategies to be optimizing towards this particular conversion action because it doesn't make sense to do so, particularly as the purchase is the main goal of an e-commerce store. Now, with that said, you may be a services-based business where a lead form or a calls from ads is important to your business. So you do want to set them up as account level goals, which you can do. And I'll show you how to do that really quickly just in a moment. One more thing to note that when you have your action optimization set as primary with an account level goal, that's when your automated bid strategies are going to optimize towards those conversion actions. So even if you have a conversion action set to primary, but the automated bidding strategies aren't going to optimize towards those conversion actions. I created a video up here just on primary versus secondary conversion actions, which you can go have a look at further. Coming back to the main summary area, just click diagnostics and back to conversion goals. There's no simple way to getting back, unfortunately. In the example where I was mentioning calls from ads could be an important goal for your business type. If we were to scroll down where it does say call from ads, we can click on the right-hand side here. It says edit goal. And then under the account default goals, you want to state that use phone call leads as an account default goal, and then select this as a primary action and then save changes. And once you've done that, then that particular conversion action will now become a standard conversion in the account. It'll also count as all conversions here, but it'll also be counted in the conversions column within your Google Ads campaigns, ad groups, and ads and keywords. So to demonstrate what that looks like, let's come into the campaigns area right now. Select the drop down on campaigns and click campaigns. And then if you have this graph set up like so, we can select one of these drop downs as being conversions. We'll just select the conversions option here. And under the conversions, again, we can select all conversions. So we can see exactly the difference between conversions and all conversions and the difference between those two. And if we were to scroll across sideways where I've already got these columns set up before, you can change your columns here if you need to. And then you can set your columns so you have them set each and every time you come to whichever layer you are within the campaigns, ad groups, ads, or keywords within an account. We can see here under all conversions, we have 1625.77 and 44.64 conversions. Now I'll cover why we have decimal points in just a moment, but you also notice that I've added this additional column here called cross-device conversion. So this means that someone has seen an ad on one device and made a purchase on a different device, like mobile to desktop and vice versa, or they've made a purchase through a different browser on the same device. Google knows when you are using two separate browsers to make a purchase or fill out a lead form on any given website. But nothing to fear, the data is privately hashed and encrypted in the Google Ads system. Coming back to the all conversions and conversions column, if we want to segment exactly which conversion actions are falling into the all conversions or the conversions column, we can simply come to this segment pop-up here and hover over conversions and click conversion actions. We can now see each individual conversion action under each individual campaign, how many conversions took place under the all conversions column, and then also how many conversions under the standard conversions columns from the goals being counted at the account level. We can clearly see under purchases that we've had 44 purchases in that date range, and that no other conversion action has been counted in that conversions column because we're not counting anything else as goals at the account level. And this is also a great way to troubleshoot. If you're getting conversion counts that look more than one in any Google Ads campaign or account, you can come here quickly and you can see that if any other conversion actions are being counted in this particular column here, which will indicate to you where you'll need to go back into the summary again, edit the goal, make the change to those conversion actions to state whether you want them counted or not. If you were to come here as well and click this drop down and we turn this back to all conversions, so we hover over conversions again, click all conversions, we can see here how each conversion action has been segmented according to the largest segments from your conversion actions, the ones that have had the most counts, I would believe. Otherwise, this will just become a really messy graph. Another thing we can do is under segments again, hover over conversions. You can click a conversion category. If you have multiple conversion actions under purchase, some you might be using for observational use only. We use Google Analytics for conversions as an indicator to make sure that our standard purchase conversion tag is working correctly and collecting enhanced conversions. So what we can do is we can bundle them all together under a category. If we select that, as I mentioned, now it looks less messy in terms of all the individual conversion actions. Now we can see how everything's been bundled together in terms of add to cart and purchases. Even though we got 44 stated here, it says 64 in terms of all the conversions together. And as I did touch on why conversions get a decimal point and they're not like a whole rounded number, if we take a look at this documentation, this also gives you a bit more understanding around conversion tracking data. I'll leave a link to this in the show notes below. As we scroll down, we can see here under where it says decimals in conversion data. This essentially means because of the attribution models that are being used by Google, these days they do default to data-driven model. They give a fractional credit to each conversion across multiple clicks. For example, you may have a Performance Max campaign and you may have a branded campaign where each campaign got a click, but only one sale, which is being counted as an account goal. So therefore, depending on how Google's attribution system is working, they will give a particular weight between each different click and which one had more influence in terms of producing the actual conversion itself. For example, they saw your shopping ad in Performance Max, they clicked on it, they looked at it, they added it to the cart, they decided to get through to the checkout, but for whatever reason, they might have had a bit of hesitation or they were busy and they decided to come back several days later to complete that purchase. But they decided just to Google the brand, the item's still in the cart, and they went through and completed the purchase. So then you would see that one conversion being split across two different clicks and campaigns and a weighting given to each. And with that said, that's the difference between conversions and all conversions within a Google Ads account. I hope you found this valuable. If you have, please click like and subscribe just down below so you can keep up to date with all the new videos that come out. And thanks for watching this video today. Bye for now.